luxury and design at Bird Ogden Infinity in Edinburgh. You're invited to come in and choose from a great selection of new Infinities available now. Infinities once in a wintertime event. Drive off in your own 2025 Infinity QX50, which is 0% APR for 36 months. And all Infinities come available with the Infinity Premium Care Maintenance Plan for 3 years. Experience luxury as it's meant to be at Bird Ogden Infinity on the corner of Alberta and Expressway 281 in Edinburgh. Shop from the entire line of Infinities online at birdogdeninfinity.com.
Changing the game in orthopedic and sports medicine. That's what we do at DHR Health Orthopedic Institute. From joint replacements to sports injuries and fractures, our expert team uses advanced, minimally invasive techniques to get you back on your feet. We're proud to serve the Rio Grande Valley with multiple locations and a commitment to personalized care. Call 956-362-6683. That's 956-362-6683. Or visit dhrhealth.com to schedule your appointment today.
Check off the wish list with instant savings and free battery offers on select steel tools. Shop online or in-store.
Fox News, I'm Tom Graham. A private plane belonging to former NASCAR driver Greg Biffle crashed on a runway in Statesville, North Carolina. Tributes being posted online.
North Carolina Congressman Richard Hudson, he posted on X that Greg Biffle, his wife Christina, his young daughter and son, they were all on board that plane. He shared that, quote, Greg was a NASCAR champion who thrilled millions of fans, but he was an extraordinary person as well.
Fox's Dana Marie McNichol, 7 people confirmed to have been killed in all. Washington, D.C.'s famed Kennedy Center is being renamed.
Members of the Board of Trustees for the Kennedy Center, all installed by President Trump earlier this year, unanimously voted to rename the renowned Performing Arts Center the Trump Kennedy Center.
Fox's Jared Halpern. America's listening to Fox News.
Our call letters, KURV. Our frequency, 710 AM. Our specialty, news and talk. News Talk 710 KURV and KURV.com.
The time is 5:32. You're listening to The Drive Home on News Talk 710 KURV. We are in Brownsville with city leadership and many of the city staff, various departments. So they gathered this afternoon a special tribute to their beloved city manager, Helen Ramirez, for the past 6-7 years. As one local economic analyst, a business person who we have developed a solid work relationship with over the past year. He said, one of the young guns in economic development and vision for South Texas. People like Gilbert Salinas at GBIC, Orlando Campos over at Harlingen Economic Development. People like Isaac DeWheel and McAllen. People like Mr. Techno himself, Teclo Garcia at Mission. We got a young, very creative group of leaders in economic development efforts in South Texas. So Helen was one of those because she, like a former mayor in Edinburgh, Ramiro Garza, he sharpened his teeth in economic development issues before he became mayor. So one of those, right? So they're celebrating her because she's leaving, and a tribute to Brownsville, a tribute to Cameron County, what is taking place. It's a wonderful time to be alive in South Texas and see the prosperity and opportunity. I want to say thank you to our many supporters. We had, of course, my friend Craig Grove. He was here earlier, GRT Realty. And big thank you to Jorge Torres, our friend Jorge Torres. We're so blessed to have a working relationship with him as well. Interlink Trade Services. He is a nerd for all this, like political and trade and economic development stuff. He's a big nerd, probably a bigger nerd than I am when it comes to this. So thank you to Interlink Trade Services. A big thank you as well to the Greater Brownsville Incentives Corporation. I have conversations I need to share with you and put on the program, put online as well. So you stick around with that. We got Gilbert Salinas from GBIC, the Economic Development Office, and Jorge Torres from Interlink Trade Services. Big thank you as well to our former mayor for South Padre, Barry Patel. He and his family, they own various hotels in the area. If you see the name Embassy Suites in South Texas, yeah, that's the Patel family. A massive Embassy Suites that's coming up in Brownsville, yeah, that's theirs. And in an earlier interview with former Mayor Patel, he was explaining, Helen Ramirez got involved in the project that we're doing the Embassy Suites in Brownsville. She said, we need a lazy river in this thing. Well, there you go. We got a lazy river in that massive Embassy Suites that's coming up in Brownsville, where folks will be able to go to the top floor, 7th, 8th floor, whatever it is, and watch rockets go into space just down the street at Starbase. Beautiful. Amazing times. We're in South Texas. Thank you for joining us on News Talk 710 KURV. I encourage you to go back and look at all these interviews that we were able to post today. YouTube, 710 KURV, X, 710 KURV, and 710 KURV on Facebook as well. Back to the studio, and we'll hear now from our Greater Brownsville Incentives Corporation's Office Director, Gilbert Salinas. I want to say thank you to our Economic Development Office, Gilbert Salinas, our Director, Greater Brownsville Incentives Corporation, and through the years, of course, working on behalf of our city of Brownsville and working with City Hall and another economic development-minded individual, Helen Ramirez, our city manager, who we celebrate and we say thank you for her many years of service here in the city. Also economic development-minded. I'm sure you and Helen had, Gilbert, you and Helen had plenty of conversations about this, that, and the other, as far as recruitment of industry and watching more industry knocking at our door and calling us to come to town. So let's start there. Just your thoughts on.
Yes, I'm pretty. I mean, it's a bummer, right, that she's leaving, because she's, I'll tell you this much: she is one of a handful of people as far as why I came back to the Brownsville area. So I was in Brownsville for about 12 years doing economic development, and this organization's predecessor, the Brownsville EDC. And I was in Central Texas for almost 7 years, and I've been back about a year. And when I was looking to see where I was going to end up, where I was going next, I said, well, what's happening in Brownsville? And they had what I like to call, as far as leadership and people that get it when it comes to economic development, everybody was there in alignment, starting with the mayor, the city manager, and then the board at the EDC, So when you've got those three, when you've got the head of the EDC, the city manager, and the mayor working together, moving in that same direction. I know it sounds very, very simple, but trust me, sometimes it's very hard to find. Yeah. When you have that, I like to say, ride it as long and as far as you can, because it doesn't happen all the time. And that's exactly what we did since I've been here for a year. So Helen was an integral part of making a lot of things happen, made my job easier, sometimes a little bit more difficult, because she would ask a lot of questions as far as when we were working particular projects, but that's the expectation, right? So we created magic as it pertains to economic development in the greater Brownsville area.
Yeah, that synergy is hard to find. We've been watching, well, I have, at least as a nerd paying attention to this, I find the synergy fascinating in Brownsville, because we're looking at yes, everybody answers back to City Hall, but the culture at City Hall, and this is for many years now, from City Hall to the different arms that they've set up, the Community Improvement Corporation, CIC, got some good leadership there. And of course, the Port of Brownsville doing what they've been hitting it out of the park, it seems forever. The Chamber and their continued relationship with small business, and of course the county doing their parts. The education institutions, Texas Southmost, doing a good job trying to absorb some of these training requirements for all this. The synergy, it's unique. It's not it's not commonplace. So we're the exception. We're not the norm, and we're benefiting from it because we're able to bring in.
I'll add this, that, and by the way, yeah, you are an economic development nerd. The one thing that she did very well and is still doing, working with the mayor, John Cowan, is empowering, the EDC and letting them, run with whatever it is that they need to do. And that goes a long way as far as accomplishing our goals, implementing our vision. Hence, that's why you see us with all the different projects that we have right now with our pipeline of activity.
Yeah. Let's review 2025 because I know we'll run out of time. There's so much to talk about. Gilbert Salinas, our chief for the Greater Brownsville Incentives Corporation. That's the economic development arm, recruitment arm for our city of Brownsville. A very successful 2025. And we're seeing industry coming to town that is complementing SpaceX, complementing LNG. So let's start there. Some of the machining and some of the higher tech work that's setting up shop in the area.
So it's interesting because just yesterday at our board meeting, I was giving our end of year report, and I mentioned, we recruited about 5 projects, totaling about 400 plus, almost $500 million in capital investment. A little over 1,000 jobs, and I said, however, and great projects. One of them is Linde, which is an industrial gas. Producer of industrial gases, which is a tier 1 SpaceX supplier. You guys are Amazon distribution fulfillment center, and then you've got Superior GHQ, which is another advanced manufacturer, and a couple other ones. And then we broke ground on our Greater Brownsville Tech Park. So now moving forward, what I mentioned is going into 2026, our pipeline of projects, that's $11 billion in capital investment, upward of about 20,000 jobs. That's our top 10 projects with an economic output of $40+ billion. And what I mentioned is this time last year, our pipeline was about $500 million. And we landed the majority of those projects. So,
Nice.
so if we just landed half of those projects, which, we're pretty confident that here in the next couple of months we'll make our first major announcement, which is another tier 1 SpaceX supplier, and then others will follow suit after that.
Yeah,
we land half of those. That's 10,000 jobs. That's $6 billion in capital investment. So it's from one year to the next. And again, a lot goes into our local leadership. And today, being at Helen's event, she's been a huge part of that. That's when you have that alignment, that's exactly what happens. That investment comes in, our housing, we're leading, the state of Texas and the nation as far as the growth that we're having here. We've been ranked the #1 area for emerging hotspot, by one of the major trade magazines, emerging economy in the United States, U.S. #1 U.S. metro for investment, so on and so forth. All this happened just in the last 12 months. So it's super exciting to see what's going to happen now moving into 2026 and really for the next 5 to 10 years.
Gilbert Salinas, Greater Brownsville Incentives Corporation, Economic Development Chief for our city of Brownsville. And of course, we're saying like a mushroom billowing cloud, like a nuclear cloud. Here we go. It's like it's building on itself, the economic activity at the coast. And right next door, Gilbert, I want to get your quick thoughts on, as they're very, I got a lot of folks in business in Harlingen, just in various businesses, but they own land and they have supplier services. Boy, they are very bullish on a call center in Harlingen. And I hope, even the EDC office next door, they're very bullish on that. And it's a whopper of a project. And my goodness, if it lands here, I think that just creates an amazing back and forth synergy, even more recruitment opportunities for Brownsville. Just your quick thought on some of the surrounding economic development efforts or regional efforts that will complement of course, the leader that is Brownsville right now.
So I see it in a couple of waves or layers. Obviously the immediate Brownsville area is getting the bulk of the growth. No secret, a lot of it is driven by what SpaceX and Starbase City is doing, the Port of Brownsville with their LNG plants and the other projects they have in the pipeline. And then it's really landing a lot of the supplier base. But then you get into the Harlingen area, they're seeing that second layer of growth, which is a lot of it has to do with as a result of what's happening here in the Brownsville area. And then my hats off to Orlando Campos in Harlingen, who actually he hired me. He used to work in Brownsville 20 years ago, and he's the one that brought me into the business. So he's doing a phenomenal job there in recruitment. And with that data center, it was just a matter of time that South Texas, the Rio Grande Valley, would get one, and not a surprise that the Harlingen area is getting one. So that again falls in perfect. It's part of the vision for Cameron County. So myself, Ramiro Aleman with Cameron County in Orlando, We'll have monthly meetings to kind of go over some of our projects because of everything that we're seeing.
That's amazing.
And then that next layer of growth is Mid Valley to the Upper Valley, because in SpaceX's words and LNG's words, they say, we do business with more than 500 plus local businesses, vendors, and suppliers directly. And they say those are local. And when they say local, is everything from Brownsville to McAllen and its shoulders as well. And they hire people, that's 80% people local, again, Brownsville to McAllen. So we're seeing that growth in the Upper Valley as well as part of what's happening down here.
You touched on some of the innovative and rapidly changing efforts on the education side, including, for example, BISD. I think it's worth noting, again, their efforts to ramp up as quickly as possible and expand their career technology training, because at the outset, of course, you got to build these facilities, which is where some of the easy skills that you can provide for the kids and some of the adult training in the area.
So what Brownsville ISD has done was, in years past, they've really focused in the STEMs, specifically in middle school. So we've got kids that are building, they're in robotics, they're building race cars, so on and so forth. And that's exactly what a lot of these forward-thinking companies are looking for. So that's helping feed the pipeline of talent for kids graduating from high school and going into the universities. So we're getting ready to partner with the school district again. Hopefully here, making an announcement in first quarter 2026 with their CTE program, again, as a result of the demand from local industry and these forward-thinking companies that are coming in. But then it's also UTRGV playing a big role in providing engineers. They just can't, produce enough of them right now because of the demand that we have. And you've got TSC, South Texas College in the Upper Valley, TSCC. So you start looking at all the higher education and training institutions. Texas A&M, I have to I can't believe I said it, but Texas A&M, right?
As a Longhorn, swallow your pride, man. Let's go.
They planted their flag. They planted a small flag down here for a training center. So yes, it's happening as far as the training institutions we had always wanted to see industry, be a part of developing these programs, and it's here now.
Yes, sir. No, I hear you. Mechanical, chemical, all these, even on anything complementing aerospace and design of that, it's here.
It's mechanical, electrical engineers is at the top of the list. Then civil engineers and aerospace engineers. Those, and to a certain extent, chemical, but those mechanical, electrical. When we go to schools and they ask us, we're hearing it from our local companies. That's the demand. They need those. Those are the top two fields.
Well, plenty of work for. You're absolutely right. It's good to see the synergy with the local school districts. We have to start young. Yes, career and technology, erect all the skills that we need to build those facilities, because the engineering side, it's already here. That's a good thing. The programs are already set up. We just need to fatten those programs and get more kids into, as they say, like STC has a direct link to A&M, for example. Go to STC and you get A&M. We need those engineers from UTRGV, from Texas A&M, and we're going to see, I think, just impressive growth, expansion of those curriculums for
and I'll add this, that you don't be surprised if you see another university plant the flag down here. Not that they will build a campus, but again, just helping with developing, filling that pipeline of talent.
Well, that would be nice. I know Alonso Cantu over here, he's been, and I think U of H is planting their flag on the medical side over here in the McAllen Mission area, the FAR area. U of H has been looking at us for quite some time, and of course the gang at Tech also, they've been looking at us. Texas Tech, they've been looking at us on other disciplines, but the sciences, hopefully, that would be nice if we could get another big campus down here.
Again, I was worried that you're looking at my cheat sheet,
Yeah. I put a worm in your computer. I'm able to read all your emails.
Yeah.
I'm kidding. All right, Gilbert, thank you for your support this year, and for being just a video call, phone call away, and taking us to school. We are the exception. We're not the norm. The wonderful, crazy, beautiful times, economic news and the prosperity that we see right now.
Yeah.
It's so wonderful to see it. And
one last thing, we're going to miss Helen tremendously.
Yeah, she's going to be hard to replace, but we got to do it. We need another team member to help pull and lead our city in Harlingen. Thank you, Gilbert. Have a wonderful holiday. Blessings and peace this holiday season, and continued success in 2026. Thank you, Gilbert.
Thank you, Sergio.
Gilbert Salinas, Director of our Greater Brownsville Incentives Corporation. That's our economic development arm for our city of Brownsville.
Save more with the #1 team in Texas, Bert Ogden Buick GMC in Edinburgh. Take advantage of amazing savings and drive a new 2026 Buick Encore for just $149 a month. You heard right, just $149 a month during the big year-end closeout. Plus, ask how you can make no payments for 90 days. We know who's #1, you, our valued customer. Come see Billy Kelly and his amazing team in Edinburgh today. We shop the competition so you don't have to with the #1 team in Texas. Come find out why Buick is exceptional by design today at Bert Ogden Buick GMC in Edinburgh.
Tune in weekdays to hear the Brad Sham Dallas Cowboys Report.
Hi again, everyone. This is today's Dallas Cowboys Report. I'm Brad Sham.
Brad Sham, the voice of the Dallas Cowboys, will bring you a daily look inside the Dallas Cowboys with highlights, interviews, and key matchups. Catch up on all the latest news from America's team, the Dallas Cowboys. The Brad Sham Dallas Cowboys Report, brought to you by McAllen International Airport.
This is the time of the year most of us are checking off our holiday gift list. Identity thieves have lists too, and your personal information might be on that list. Protect your identity with LifeLock. LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points every single second and alerts you to the threats you could miss yourself. If your identity is stolen, your own U.S.-based restoration specialist is going to work to fix it, guaranteed, or your money back. Make this season about joy, not identity theft, with LifeLock. Save up to 40% off your first year at LifeLock.com with the promo code BECK. Terms apply.
The Thursday drive home, 4 to 6 p.m. from Brownsville. As local leadership, celebrate our outgoing city manager, Helen Ramirez. We're going to review the impressive growth in the Brownsville economy the past several years, the innovative solutions related to connectivity, quality of life, branding, and infrastructure. Join us for the celebration of one city, our city of Brownsville, and our city manager, Helen Ramirez. This KURV presentation made possible by EnjoySPI.com, the Greater Brownsville Incentives Corporation, GRT Realty, and Interlink Trade Services.
This holiday, give the gift of shine at Go Car Wash. Buy 3 washes, get 1 free, or grab a Go gift card for anyone on your list. Visit GoCarCash.com or your nearest location. Go Car Wash. It's your time to go shine.
Introducing the newest destination for luxury in the Rio Grande Valley, the all-new Mercedes-Benz of Harlingen. Come visit Michael Fall, General Manager, today and discover the perfect blend of elegance and power in a new C300 sedan. Get yours for only $726 a month for 36 months. Now during the holiday love celebration at the all-new Mercedes-Benz of Harlingen, a true triumph of luxury. Now open at their exceptional new state-of-the-art location at 8522 West Expressway 83 in Harlingen.
Scotts Pro Vista is the next generation grass. It requires less fertilizer to stay healthy with a deep green color that thrives in the sun or shade. Plus, it requires 50% less mowing than St. Augustine. Achieve eye-catching curb appeal and complete weed control. The future is here. There's never been anything else like Scotts Pro Vista. Hank Assad is the exclusive grower of the next generation of sod in the Rio Grande Valley. Call today, 956-207-9004.
Hi, it's Pam Voss from Camp University. I would like to personally thank Yoli Cantu from McAllen Stained Glass for helping our campers create beautiful fused glass pieces. These fused glass pieces are available for sale at OK's Uptown on 10th in McAllen. All the proceeds go back to help our campers. And if you don't know what Camp University is, I invite you to visit our website, campuniversity.org, or call us at 956-800-5292.
Hi, this is Congresswoman Monica De La Cruz. Are you having difficulty getting answers from federal agencies? Well, my office is here to help cut through the red tape and solve problems with Washington quickly. To start, visit delacruz.house.gov to share your issue, and we will be in touch. Team De La Cruz is here to serve you. God bless. Paid for by official funds authorized by the House of Representatives.
The time is 5:54. This is The Drive Home on Newstalk 710 KURV. I'm Sergio Sanchez in for the evil radio genius, Zach Untu. Zach is actually the reason we're on the air right now. He's at the controls in Mission on Brownsville, and we're here for the city of Brownsville as they say bye to the young gun, top leader in economic development, Senator Helen Ramirez. Thank you to the leadership who talked to us on and off air. I want to say a special thank you to Jorge Torres from Interlink Trade Services. We're going to get a chance to hear from him in just a few seconds. It's made it possible for us to be here. Yeah, good folks, for example, Craig from GRT Realty, Craig Grove. Big thank you to the Greater Brownsville Insurance Corporation. Gilbert, anything for Salinas, Gilbert. And like all these interviews, there are morsels of information, little golden nuggets, I call them. And we're going to do a better job. It's a lot of material. It's a lot of audio. It's a lot of video. We'll do a better job of trying to extract and repurpose and repost these exclusive conversations that we have. And I find it, I love this stuff, as you can tell. And I know you guys listen to KURV, you love this as well. You're in businesses. It's all about selling. We're all selling. It's all about business. And ain't nothing better, no better cure for poverty than a job. And we have, oh my goodness, thousands of jobs now and thousands more on the way. What a beautiful time to live in South Texas. So all these conversations, they all have little gold nuggets of what is coming, the economic impact, all that you'll find on 710 KURV, Facebook 710 KURV, YouTube 710 KURV, X, all these videos that we put on there, and we'll repurpose it, extract those and share those for you in 2026. Big thank you. Again, Greater Brownsville Insurance Corporation, GRP Realty. Big thank you to former Mayor Barry Patel from South Padre. EnjoySPI.com is the website. You as a family enjoy the island. Go get a package for, I don't know, like Christmas dinner, Christmas Eve dinner. They have these awesome packages at the hotels that Barry Patel and family have. So EnjoySPI.com. Christmas on the beach, New Year's on the beach. I don't know. That sounds to me like a good idea. Again, a big thank you to our supporters. And join us tomorrow morning for the morning news, also the Sergio Show. And, of course, the drive home. Zach should be back in the seat for tomorrow evening. This is Newstalk 710 KURV. Going to share with you this conversation with Jorge Torres from Interlink. One of the friendships that I've been blessed to make and to deepen this year, we're blessed to know and to work with and work on behalf of our friend Jorge Torres from Interlink Trade Services, expert in customs brokerage business, and been doing this for as long as I've been doing the whole radio thing. You know, he's been doing this since the early mid 90s, and that's how long I've been in the radio as well. We've seen the Valley economy of late explode. It's amazing to see. So we appreciate, Jorge, we appreciate your continued support of KURV, and of course, as we take the Dog and Pony Show on the road, we're honoring Helen Ramirez, our city manager for Brownsville. Did awesome job the past several years working for the city, and a proper send-off to her and a thank you for all her work in an economy that by certain metrics and percentages, the statistics, job growth in relation to the population size and economy, Brownsville, Texas, that is growing gangbuster crazy, beautiful, man. And I asked friends who have seen the economy. You have seen the economy have grown. Honestly, Jorge, I never thought that we see, and I'm grateful that we see these days right now in Brownsville. So we honor Helen Ramirez. We say thank you to her. Thank you to the city of Brownsville for having us over at this special broadcast as we honor our city manager, Helen Ramirez. Jorge Torres, Interlink Trade Services. And when we talk on the program of late, we've been looking at what he does for a living as a customs broker, making sure that all the T's are crossed, all the I's are dotted when the many customers that you have bringing in materials to the U.S. from Mexico. The paperwork, the declarations, all it's got to be done perfectly, got to be done right, because you never know when they will be the one grain in the grain silo that goes back for review, goes back for greater inspection. And you were telling me off here, there's been a lot more of that from customs going back and doing a little more audits, picking a few more grains. So Tell me about how things changed in 25 for you and your clients as well.
Yes, like you mentioned, all import transactions have to be done correctly. And this year in particular, 2025, with all the tariffs and the changes in the trade environment, that trade compliance level for importers has to be pretty much almost perfect, if not perfect, because like you mentioned, Customs and Border Protection, they're increasing their review process for import transactions, what we call entries. And they do it by a process called Request for Information, which is called CBP Form 28, where they request information to validate tariff classifications, value, country of origin, free trade agreements. But this year, that was the detailed information that they're requesting is mainly for the tariff provisions, the sectorial tariffs, such as Section 232, IEPA, Section 301. So they're questioning value, steel, metal, steel, aluminum, copper values, making sure that they're paying the right IEPA based on country of origin determinations, making sure that USMCA is claimed appropriately, because if they're claimed on imports from Mexico and Canada, they're waived the IEPA fentanyl tariffs, which is 25% for Mexico and 30% for Canada. So there's a lot at stake, and that's why we have seen an increase in this request for information or revisions or audits of import transactions.
For the news and information nerds, like yours truly, and a lot of people that do other things for a living, those sections, those terms, IEPA, 232 section, Section 301, I think, those get thrown around quite a bit when it comes to import and customs. So if you could explain them each in 30 seconds. We know that the IEPA is the emergency power that President Trump is using for national security reasons, whatever. He's imposing these tariffs left and right for fentanyl and the threats and all those things. You don't comply, boom, we're going to slap you with that. So the other two, real quick, if you could explain the other two sections and how they apply, and probably the president might be using their future if the high court says, no, you can't be doing the whole emergency tariff thing anymore.
Yes, well, Section 301 was first implemented in 2018 by President Trump in his first term, and that was mainly targeting China. Section 301 has to do with copyright infringements and trade infringement situations. So that's how he got to impose those to China. He did it in parts by list, the product list 1, list 2, list 3, list 4A and B, which only 4A got implemented. So those tariffs were 25% and list 4A 7.5%. Those are still in place. There are some exemptions, but in general, pretty much most of the trade with China is impacted by those. Then 232, that's more of a national security issues. He imposed those also on steel and aluminum back in his first term.
Okay.
Obviously, Mexico and Canada were eventually exempted because of USMCA side letters, what we call. They negotiated certain quotas, etc. But they're back, assessing those to them. Then he's also using Section 232 to impose tariffs on auto parts, on wood products, on copper, and on heavy duty trucks and parts. So he's using the Section 232, which is a national security. It has to start by study or analysis by the Department of Commerce, and then they make the recommendation. Yes, there's merit, and then the president will issue the executive order. IEPA is the one that the Emergency Powers Act. That's the one that it's more broad and it was back then implemented by President Kennedy to ensure that there's no issues with the Section 232 was implemented by President Kennedy, but the IEPA was done not for the purpose of imposing tariffs per se. So that's the big question that we have right now.
Yeah, and of course we've seen the president in 2025 use it as a negotiating tool, I guess, using the stick and threatening, "Hey, I'm going to slap you if you don't reach a better trade agreement." Vietnam, 90% tariffs on U.S. stuff going that way. Not anymore. I don't know what the number is, but it's a lot lower U.S. goods going into Vietnam, going into the Philippines. UK, EU. So it's been used by the president to establish a more equitable rate of exchange so that American goods can enter those markets.
Yes, that's correct.
Jorge Torres from Interlink Trade Service, customs broker expert, and what you were saying, again, defining the Section 301, those 4 words, right, that a truer sentence could not be expressed today. China, copyright, trademark infringement. That's what China is, man. They're in the
Yep.
business of stealing technology. Of late, we were talking a bit off air about something that popped up in the news. I think this was one of the first conversations I had with you. The potential for refunds if the U.S. Supreme Court says, no, this emergency use by the president on tariffs, and no, sir, that there is a possibility that refunds might be ordered. But I'm thinking as well, okay, maybe they won't be ordered. Maybe the high court will say, well, yeah, the president misused this. He imposed this taxation, these tariffs. Okay, what you did now, fine. Just don't do it again. And then no refund. So it could go in any way, right? Or do you think there still might, if the high court slaps them, that there definitely will be refund?
Yeah, I mean, it can go in many ways. I mean, obviously, everyone's expecting that if IEPA struck down, that to some extent there will be refunds, either retroactive 100% or partial retroactive. And so that's a high possibility. But like you mentioned, there's that possibility that say, okay, from now on, IEPA tariffs won't be charged to importers, but anything that was collected, that's going to stay with in the governments. So we still don't know if that's going to happen. Like I mentioned to you earlier too, I have a lot of importers, a lot of customers. They're anxious. They're very optimistic, quote unquote, because they think that it's going to be struck down, and they think that the refund is going to happen. And they're actually asking me, start the process. When am I going to get my money back? How do we go about in getting the refund? Well, I tell them, we need to take it one step at a time. First of all, okay, what's going to happen? Is it going to be struck down or not? If it's struck down, then, okay, what is it going to be a refund? Yes, no. If there's going to be a refund, well, what's going to be the mechanism? And most likely, well, if there's a refund process, a refund mechanism, it can be either automatic refunds that the importer that paid it, is going to get it back automatic, or we're going to have to file a protest. We still don't know that yet. So we need to wait until the court decision is made, which we expected probably by the first quarter of next year.
I'm trying to remember anything from mandates on paying for health care or any other fee or charge imposed by the government that eventually is declared. The only thing come to mind was like Obamacare, and like had they struck it down, what, everybody gets a refund for the premiums that they paid to the insurance company? I don't know. I still think that it'd be too onerous, it'd be too painful, traumatic for the market to put the refunds. Let's just, okay, made a mistake, don't do it again. Maybe move from there, but we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah.
In the meantime, there was this developing market. I was telling you that I called it like it is the carbon credit market of our day, right? The potential. Somebody had suggested, I guess they were working where any potential refunds. There was speculators out there willing to pay companies. Okay, what did you pay in tariffs? You know what? We'll pay you, I don't know, 30 cents on the dollar or 50 cents on the dollar. We'll give you the money. We'll give you the cash now. And then we'll take your refund type of thing. That market from the importers and the customers that you have, which are various importers, did you see any people actually bite and nibble on that, or did it really not take off? At least from your anecdotal perspective, from all the importers that you
from my customer base and from what I heard from other peers in the area, that didn't pick up too much in at least in my customers.
It's still there, right?
It's still there. A couple of customers asked me about it. I think one of them got a little bit serious about it because they were cash strained.
Yeah.
I don't know if they went through it or not. But like you mentioned, it was they were offering, I believe, 20 cents per the dollar, and they will get the rights of the refund. It's like we do. Especially in the freight industry, there's factoring. There's companies that sell their account receivable, and the collecting company, there's a company that will collect it, and they will get like a 20% commission, something like that.
Yeah.
This is more aggressive because there's a higher risk because we still don't know what's going to happen. But from my experience, unless I'm proved wrong, I mean, it didn't really catch on as far as companies getting into it.
And you would know, man,
Yeah.
with all the people
Yeah.
that are importing. Yeah. It's
Yeah.
a modern day debt collector, whether it's 10 cents, 15, 20
Yeah.
cents on the dollar. Well, we'll pay you your debt, 10, 15 cents, and we'll try to collect it from whoever owns it. Brother, thank you for your support. And I know there's so much to talk about, but we look forward to our next conversation.
Sure.
And thank you for being a phone call away to put
Thank
everything
you.
into perspective. Jorge
Thank you,
Torres, Merry Christmas to you, brother. You and your family. Also, more success in 2026 as well in this growing economy. Jorge Torres with Interlink Trade Service, customs broker. It is Interlink, the website, real quick.
Interlinktrade.com.
Interlinktrade.com. Thank you, brother.
Thank you. Thank you, Sergio.
Ten athletes will face the toughest job interview in fitness that will push past physical